Hey guys, Evander here, back with another video. This time I bring you EVBase's third generation seat covers for the Cybertruck. Long overdue review. I know many of you have been waiting for this one. I've actually been doing some back and forth with EVBase, making sure we dial this one in, and it is absolutely perfect. And I think this is the one. So, I'm not going to go through a full installation. EVBase already has an install video. They have install instructions. There's also many other install videos out there for you to watch. But I will be giving you a couple pro tips here and there from my experience. Installing these is not difficult, but it is time consuming and can be tedious. So keep that in mind, but anybody can do it. You just might need to be able to, get on the ground underneath, be able to look upside down. It can get a little involved. Having a helper would be great, especially for passing things through the seats. So if you're interested in these, link in the description below. And of course, RedKnave20 is going to save you 20% off, not just these, but anything on EVBase's website. So let's go into the overall look and do some close-ups. Everything you need to get this install done is included. You get a little orange pry tool to tuck in, little white gloves to help save your fingers, and these plastic discs which help secure the seats and the hooks. I would recommend some needle nose pliers though, if you have them. That will really help pull things in. Also included is, for the rear seats, a cover for the cup holders. Of course, you've got the front seats. They've got nice padding. All of these are perforated. That's what all these little holes are all across the seat area. So that perforation is going to allow your heated and ventilated seats to have good airflow through your seat. I have been using, again, sort of earlier versions of this, and there's no issues at all with my heat and cooling to pass through this mesh area. Very important is airbags. I really like how now we're labeling it side airbag. There's an actual hole you can see. There's the proof. This is airbag compliant. Some other brands will go for just having the stitching there that's supposed to be able to tear away in the event of an airbag deployment. This, I feel like, gives you some real good peace of mind that their stitching, there's no way to tell if the stitching is up to par as far as airbag deployment. This, there's no question, your airbag is going to be able to escape out of here and deploy and save you in the event of an accident. You do get a pocket on both of the front seat covers. A zipper will help put things into place and keep it nice and snug. All of these, by the way, are made from a Nappa leather. That is a synthetic leather. It's 100% vegan. It's very, very soft, and they do clean up easily. I can attest to that. Here you have a center console cover that matches with the stitching. I already have a carbon fiber center console cover, so I won't be using that. The seats also share the same cool stitch pattern, so it's going to match up like that. On my earlier version, you may have noticed I had some stitching on the head. That's been removed, and now you have the Cybertruck logo embedded into the backrest area. Very cool. Underneath, all of these will use, it's not very elastic, but these sort of ribbons, and they will connect to these little buckles, and you're going to strap this onto every seat. So again, everything's covered, front, back, rear. What's bothered me on pretty much every seat cover I've had is you have to keep in mind when your rear seats are up in the stowing position, you're going to see all of these straps underneath. So I gave them feedback. Make your straps black. Nobody wants to see like a brown strap or a white strap. These will hide a little bit easier, so it's not as noticeable when your seats are raised that the straps are all over the place. But there's ways to tidy up your strap job and make sure, it doesn't look too messy. I'll show you that later. And of course, the rear seats Tucking these can be a bit of a chore. You can, I'll show you in a minute, you can just get away with just lightly tucking it in, and that's the only downside is your rear cup holder might struggle to be pushed into place and lock, because if you don't tuck these, it adds a lot of meat to that area and it can be a little difficult to shut that thing. So for me, I personally don't care if it shuts fully. I rarely have backseat passengers anyways, but keep that in mind. If you don't tuck it 100%, then the added material is going to make things a little bit more difficult to squeeze into place. So let's insert the seat covers and then I'll show you what the finished look is like. All right, I wanted to get some quick footage. These are my original seats. I've had seat covers on my Cybertruck, I'd say 6 to 8 months of its life. I'm coming up on, I think, my 10th month. Wait, it's February. Wow, my 11th month is this month in February. I got mine in mid-March. So this is what it looks like after having this seat covers on. No damage. You know, a little bit wavy. I don't remember how loose this material was. I saw some people, after sitting on their seats for a while, the seat cushion started to look a little worn, but nothing here. If anything, it's protected my original seat from any damage. So, all right, that's what it looks like before. And let's start slapping on the new seat covers. All right, I promised you pro tips, even though I'm not showing the full install. First pro tip is use your seat's adjustability to your advantage. If you're messing around with these seats, you're going to want to be able to get underneath it more easily. So be sure to adjust your seat back and forth as needed in order to access the areas they need to get to. That's going to make your installation much easier. I feel like installing the bottoms first and then the tops is the best way. Otherwise, one can get in the way of the other. Tucking these things can be a chore. Having some needle nose pliers to get down underneath there and pull these little hooks is another tip. I think this would be like the 4th time I'm installing seat covers on my Cybertruck, and every single time my fingers will hurt. The first time was the worst. I think my fingers hurt for 3 days. So yeah, maybe that's what the white gloves are for, to help produce some of that pain, but then your dexterity is a little bit not as accurate. So yeah, adjust your seat as needed. It's gonna make your life easier. And that goes for moving the seat this way when you're behind it. You're also going to need to move your back seats up so you can really, lay on the floor. You're gonna have to get basically your head underneath these front seats. All right, front passenger seat is installed. As you can see from the earlier prototype, they've gone with a much brighter, more vivid red color. And of course, Cybertruck logo is brand new. This is what it looks like. And I wasn't kidding. This took me at least 45 minutes just to mess with this front passenger seat. And I know for a fact my driver's side, which I'm avoiding, is going to take a little longer because I have the under seat safe. And there's no way to install this seat cover with that safe underneath it. It's just going to add, it's just in the way. I'll have to remove the safe temporarily to get underneath there. But yeah, I just want to make sure you're aware this is the fitment. Very, very tight around the head. I can feel there's some give into the back area. There's like it poofs out. To me, this doesn't really matter. It doesn't look like saggy or anything. And when you're sitting on this, you're going to be pushing this flat against the actual seat anyways. Yeah, made sure all my edges are taut and tucked. This bottom lip does bulge out, but I don't know. It's like looking at the bottom of your door. It's like how many people are going to see the bottom of the door unless you take the door off the frame. So same kind of thing. No one's going to really look under the bottom of your seat at that lip. You can't really see it unless you are literally underneath the seat. But I think that looks great. I think I'm going to go grab a snack and then tackle the rear seats before I figure out what I'm doing with that driver's side safe. Okay, don't spend 5 minutes tucking these little cushions into the edge before realizing you just tucked your seatbelt in. It's another pro tip. Don't ask me how I know. All right, when tucking in these back seats, I feel like it's best, there are these cushions you need to tuck in to the trim. You might be tempted to just line it up and tuck it in. I feel like you're gonna get a better result if you fold this edge on itself and then tuck it like that. It's going to move in a little bit smoother and it's going to be a bit tighter and it's not going to come out as easily. So my suggestion is fold it in on itself like this on the edges and then just give it a nice good push. And then these are gonna be nice and snug and it's gonna look the best. You could lazy your way out and not tuck your edges, but your seat cover is gonna be looking all loose and wrinkly. So spend the extra time to just tuck these in little by little with this pry tool. It's more of a push tool, but yeah. And then you can even repeat the same thing throughout this curvature, and I'll show you at the end what it all looks like. All right. I started at 2 o'clock. It's now 5 p.m. 3 hours total. I had a little half-hour break to eat in there somewhere, but we are all done. I highly recommend one of these to see underneath the seats. I'll leave a link for that too in the description. But man, it always takes me a very long time to put these in here, but I feel like the look is just worth it. Fourth time installing these, so let's go through it all and I'll give you my final thoughts and tips. Alrighty, starting with the front passenger seat. That's what it looks like. Again, it's expected to have a little bit of bubble cushion underneath there, but it shouldn't be a hindrance or impact the usability of your seat. Again, as soon as you sit down, this is gonna flatten and touch the actual seat itself. As for the back seats, I actually did a really good job, if I do say so myself, for these rear seats. I think I finally got the technique down. So this is what it looks like underneath. So expect to have these straps visible. I found to keep these nice and tidy and neat looking, you're gonna have some excess strap. Go back in over the buckle, in on itself and go underneath. And then you can just tuck the excess, underneath where it's really pinched. And I just did that to every little buckle. And that hid all of the excess strap. So if yours does not look like mine, when you are done, you could do better. As for the seats themselves, I did manage to tuck these babies in all along these edges, even up in here, and same on the other side. Nice and neatly tucked. I just used my strategy of overlapping itself. That did a really good job. Keep in mind your middle rear seat. This is the only seat where the head is adjustable. It cannot be adjusted, obviously. once it's inside of this seat cover. It has to be at its lowest point. So keep that in mind if for whatever reason you liked raising and lowering it. I suppose you could omit the center. I did notice on this version the stitching is just black. On the second prototype, it had red stitching, but whatever. As for the middle, in here, I got, wow, it's so much better with this headlight on. All right, I got nice and into the crevice of this interior on both sides pretty much as best I could. I don't think you're gonna get any better than that. That's what the cup holder looks like. So you still have full access to the cups. And then for pushing this in, since you're adding a bit of material on both sides, don't be surprised if this is somewhat loose. It's still locked into place, but I've noticed it doesn't seem to push quite all the way back in, since you did add some material in there and it's kind of blocking it. Here's what the back of the front seats look like. They only have the red stitching on the front visible edges. Got these nice zippers on the side. You do get an additional pocket here. And it all tucks underneath the seat. And finally, the front seat. I was very happy that I did not have to remove my underseat safe. I was able to just finesse those straps right over the top of it. Didn't need to make it move, and everything got nice and snug as a bug. So very happy I didn't need to remove that. That would have added at least another 30 minutes to the install time. So there you go. Quality is great as always. Again, it's very soft, Snappa leather. Again, love that they have the airbag cutouts. Hopefully I never need to see these in use, but digging the Cybertruck logo in the center. I love this interesting stitch pattern they have on the seats themselves. Again, I'm foregoing the center console cover, but they did include a matching center console cover. If you guys are in Northern California, be sure to come find me this Saturday, February, I want to say the 8th. I will be at the Unplugged Performance Tesla meetup, and be sure to swing by, say hi, and even take a look at the seat covers and all the other accessories I've got. But all right, that does it for this install. I highly recommend these seat covers. Again, comes in a variety of colors, not just this one. A couple different designs as well on EVBase's website. Be sure to use RedKnave20 to save 20%. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring that bell if you are subscribed. More good content always on the way, and I will see you in the next video. See you later.